And this is something, so my dad taught me this when I was a kid. He worked with youth, like he had a youth organization that he and my mother ran. And when there was a kid that was a troublemaker in any situation, he would often say, that's a kid right there that has leadership qualities that isn't able to act upon them. And so they're causing trouble because they have a need or a desire to take initiative, to take the lead, to help orchestrate something. And so I've noticed that that's a pattern that applies to a lot more than just leadership. So I see NTs, for example, but particularly NTPs coming onto like online forums and correcting everybody, or, you know, giving the real data, you know, coming in, having debates or arguments. I interpret that, oh, this is a person that has a desire to lead or teach or to contribute. They don't have a platform like you do, Antonia. So they're going to come in and find any avenue they can to release this energy of wanting to contribute. They're actually not trying to be a troll. I mean, maybe some people are, but I think most people in those environments aren't trying to be harmful, be damaging. They don't know what to do with this energy they have. They haven't created a context that's healthy for its expression. And so it comes out in these ways that are frustrating to the rest of us. We're like, would you please stop, you know, like correcting everything I say in a conversation, or come making those comments or this video or whatever it would be. And so I think if you're listening right now, one thing you can do is just observe the things that are annoying to you by other people you're communicating with, and say, what is it that they're actually expressing here? What is the energy that they can't maybe have a healthy expression for, or a proper expression, quote unquote, whatever that means. And this is the only avenue they have. And I can just give them some grace, because this is them attempting to contribute in whatever way they know how to. I think that's a huge shift that I took in my life that gave me the ability to extend generosity to others.
And if we want to sort of create a connection back to what ostensibly our original topic was.
I'm getting ready to do that in a second.
Okay, I was going to say, we can just sort of like
that.
loop back to where we were before, which was about talking to the different types. And I think when I talk to thinkers, I know that they are very satisfied when I ask their opinions on things.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think this thing is?
You're getting the technique. Hold on. I want to just make one more comment real quick.
Okay.
Why are we talking, if you're listening or watching right now, why are we talking about our response to communication? Like, why are we even talking about that first before we give advice? Because you're here for the techniques, I'm sure. You're here for the advice. You're like, yes, episode, like we're minutes in, like a long period of time in, and I haven't gotten the juice yet. Where's the actual advice you guys can give me to talk? I think the principle here is self-awareness and understanding how you hear things first. Like, where you are the instrument first when you're communicating with other people. How do you interpret things? How are you showing up? What's your meta goal in communication? Because everybody's got one of these. So you can start with the self. Observe yourself and say, what is it that I'm looking for in communication? When am I contributing in all of these things first? And then you can say, okay, now everybody's got one of those. Now, how can I communicate with other people on their terms? So that's why I think we ended up talking a lot about our response to communication in the initial part of this show. Now let's transition into some techniques and actual specifics.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful segue. I'm so sorry that I almost took it from you.
That's okay.
I'm so glad you said it. Well, to go back to what you're talking about, and we've kind of maybe circled the drain on NTs a little too long, but I would say that for thinking types, oftentimes asking their thoughts, asking their opinions, asking them how they see the world, getting them talking on subjects that they have a passion around. That is something that I don't think thinking types get to experience that often.
I have a secret, by the way.
Yeah.
On thinking types. Ask them a question they can answer brilliantly. They will love you forever. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you deal with this terrible, terrible boredom, Joel? When they start talking about
choose your subject wisely, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Make sure you like the person first.
Yeah. And in this case, it's not just NT. So if you get together some, say, ISTPs, and all of a sudden it's talking about, like my brother has 3 cars, and he absolutely loves to go out and show me and others his, especially if he happened once to have 2 cars there at the same time at this event. I don't know how that happened. And just like all the features of the cars and so on. And I'm like, I don't completely not appreciate it, but I'm like, I don't need an hour of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just like, do you enjoy driving it? And like, what is the gas mileage? And like, I am interested in what he did personally to improve his car or whatever. Not the details of it, but the fact that he did that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Right. So it's almost like finding an intersection of interest.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what can you answer brilliantly? And then how can I get the thing that's interesting to me also in there? Yeah. Which is the personal story, which is more interesting to you.
Yeah.